So the new Sony A9II came out today, and I'm just gonna give you my quick professional photographer reactions. I think that this is kind of like a pointless camera, to be honest with you. I know this camera came out in 2018 and the A9 came out in 2017, but the specs on it, like I had to write this down because I was like so shocked. So the specs on the A9 and the A9II are like exactly the same. They're both 20 frames per second, both 24.2 megapixels, 5-axis stabilization, and 4K video. Like, it's not the A7S III, okay? You keep putting these band-aids on these new cameras and it's not cool, all right? Now this camera is not for like every shooter. I use the R3. It's actually being filmed on an R3, which is much more like landscape, print photography, things like that. The A9 is much more for sports. The 20 frames per second means 20 photos per second. So it's really great if you're shooting a football game or a soccer game, something like that. But to release a camera that the only upgrade you made was like dust resistance and like weather protection and the battery, you know what I'm saying, Jack? It's just like, come on, you can do better than that. Let's go. We want the A7S III, we want the A7S II. If you could just take the A7S II and put like autofocus in it, that'd be the greatest camera ever. And then we'd all be good and no one would complain with Sony anymore. But to put a band-aid on the A9 and just release the 2 for the heck of it, seems like a cop-out. Seems like a cop-out to me as a professional photographer. Nobody was asking for this camera. Nobody asked for the R4 either. I know like I sound like I'm mad. I just really want the A7S III. So disappointing. But probably some key differences from the A9 2017 to the A9II 2019 are color science. Every year Sony seems to get better and better at that. So I'm interested to see what they look like side by side. But as far as like frame rate and megapixels and actual like hardcore specs, there's really no difference. But I would recommend the A9 over the A9II. It's basically the same camera for a lower price. So that's just my quick reactions. Maybe I'm bitter, I don't know. Personally, I'm more of an R guy. The A7R III is my favorite camera ever by far. If they just had 4K, 60 frames per second, I'd be totally happy. I use Sony everything. My backup cameras are Sony, main camera's Sony, but all right. Sorry for the rant, but that's just me. Specs aren't different. Camera's hardly any different. But all right, peace, and I'll see you guys hopefully in another video if you're into that kind of thing. Jack, we need a coffee boy. We need to hire an intern just for coffee. You know what I mean? Kyle, hey Kyle, get us some coffee.